Welcome to Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist. Thank you for joining me today. Here we go. I really appreciate you joining me. We have, oh wow, I'm sure I say this every time, a real goodie to delve into. So I'd love to know if you're here live on the call or if you're here watching a replay, and where you are in the world would be fabulous. So today we are talking about a real icky subject that you may think isn't an issue and just bubbles away underneath you. So we're talking about how to overcome jealousy in a relationship. So I'm talking not just about being in an intimate relationship, I'm talking about family relationship, I'm talking about business relationship. So not just that, but this is one of the words that my team put together, and it says, I'm with a partner, but the thought of them being with their ex makes me so mad. Even just saying that, you know people like that. If you're not going to say it's you, that's fine, but you know people who are like that. I can see myself being insecure and seeking out validation from my partner, and I know it's negatively impacting the relationship, but I don't know how to stop. Even just reading that, me thinking that, you hearing that, is that like a real icky, yucky, uncomfortable thing that's coming up? Because for me, just when I read that, I felt so uncomfortable and went, oh my God, this is ick, yuck, yuck, yuck. It's downright uncomfortable. That is the nicest way of putting it. So this stuff can stir up so much. Jealousy, when I say this stuff, jealousy can stir up so much stuff, so much that can come from 0 and explode to even beyond 100. And especially because we are here, we've got Christmas in New Zealand tomorrow. So especially this stuff, well, actually, you're going to have it around the world tomorrow as well. Maybe not tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. And it can stir emotion around your family and friend dynamics. So let me go to the scenario of what jealousy means from the dictionary. And even this just made me feel icky. Jealousy. Let me just read this out. It says resentment against a rival, a person enjoying success or advantage, or against another's success or advantage itself. Woohoo! Take that word, resentment. Mental uneasiness from suspicion or fear of rivalry, unfaithfulness, etc., as in love or aims. Vigilance in maintaining or guarding something. This is jealousy. Just this, bleh. A jealous feeling, disposition, state, or mood. What is that stirring in you? What is that stirring up for you? Because for me, it stirred up some real icky stuff when I thought about this and dove into that word, jealousy. So from hearing that, there's just a couple of things I'd love to unpack. Is no one, and if you've got a pen and paper, write this down, no one, put that in capitals, no one is a rival. No one is a rival. There is to be no comparing to anybody anywhere in life. Don't compare to me, don't compare to your ex, don't compare to your in-laws, don't compare to people, because everyone has had a past. Everyone has lived their life their way to be who they are. Now, you may have had a very similar path to people, but you will not have exactly the same path. You don't know what's happened to them you don't know what's happening to them future, you don't know about them present. There is no comparison that you can do, because them being a rival is ridiculous. You have your life, they have their life. And yes, if you're comparing, you are ridiculous. I'm just going to go right out there and just say, don't do it to your soul, to your mind, to those around you. But we do. I'm calling you ridiculous, but we do. And you will. And I do as well. So it's wise to look at how unique you are, because we're all unique in our own way. And once you own who you are and what your uniqueness or quirkiness is, or, you know, people say to you, oh, you're a coach. God, why did I put that voice on? Oh, you're a coach. Oh, there's a different one. Oh, you're a coach. What keeps you different from other people? I don't know. I don't know what keeps me different from other people. Listen to me. I do this. Other people do videos. Other people do social media. Other people have blonde hair. Other people are females. Other people have the same skill set as me. What keeps me different from anyone else? I don't know, because you know what? I don't compare. I know I'm going to call you on your stuff. I know they call me the stiletto kicker. I know that, because I'm not going to let you away with this frickin' crap that comes into your mind. You're going to have it, and we're going to deal with it. Like, this is uninspiring. I know that. Is there other people out there who do that? I'm sure there is, but I don't compare myself to other people. So it's really important of being unique in your own way and just owning who you are. So you can have me next to someone who has the same tool set as me. Skill set, same thing. But we're going to be different. You've got people who speak softer. You've got people who speak louder. There's times I speak soft. There's times I speak loud. There's times I swear. There's times I don't swear. There's times I huff and puff. And there's times I'm not. So it's about owning who you are and being 100%, not being okay, being 100%, this is who I am. Because the more people throw things at you about you and you catch those, that's like a downhill spiral. And you know what I'm talking about. And you know, if you're on this call and you're having those things, you know, do a hell yeah or whatever. You don't have to do it, clearly. You can just do this like I do. But you know this is actually hard for you, hitting you in their mind. So once you know who you are, and today you're going to be somebody different to tomorrow too, by the way. So just when you get used to today, you might be somebody different. Depends on your sleep, depends on what you've eaten, depends what's going on around you, all those things. So what you see in others, you've got to remember what you see in others and it stirs emotion is because you haven't seen it within yourself. So when you see something in others and you don't, and it stirs an emotion, you haven't seen it in yourself. So look at what those things are. What are those things that they've got? That is all. It's just alerting you to your disowned parts, if we were to call it that. So one of the things I've discovered is you cannot ignore anything. Do not ignore anything. Feel and speak with love. And when I say feel and speak with love, you must feel your heart and speak with love. Because the more you avoid, the bigger the mind explosion we have. The absolute bigger the mind explosion we have. And I talk about it, if you've heard me talk about the Nemo fish. So somebody can come in and say something and you hear the little Nemo. And you're like, oh, that little Nemo fish is biting me. I actually don't know if there is a Nemo fish. Anyway, the Nemo fish is biting you and you're like, oh, I can feel that, I can feel that. Go away, go away, go away. I'm going to ignore that. That's fine. Next comes the tuna. And it comes in, it's bigger, and it's biting you, and it's telling you these things, and you're like, okay, I can hear you. I've got too much to do today. I've got to wrap Christmas presents. I've got this. I'll deal with you later. Next comes the shark. And the shark has a bigger bite. The shark has a bigger bite, or there's a dolphin before that. The shark has a bigger bite. And that bites you, and you're like, oh, okay. So these are red flags. These are going from, little tiny pale pink flags to the red flag. And then the finale is the red flag. And the finale is the whale. And the whale comes in, and this is not any of this. The whale comes in and chomps on you and immobilizes you. Immobilizes your home, immobilizes the people around you, immobilizes your mind, your physical body, any of that stuff. And you get knocked down and out, and you're done. And it's wise to look at the Nemo fish. Get this little stuff that's going in, these emotions that are stirring up. Deal with them then, because if the whale comes in and immobilizes you, that ain't a pretty look. I had a jealousy spat internally, and the whale knocked me big time. The whale knocked me big time. Just be aware of the Nemo. I'm giving you this warning because nobody wants the whale to come. No one wants the shark to even bite, the dolphin, the tuna. Like when you get this little Nemo, the pale pink flag, jump all over it. If you can't do it at that time, if you can't deal with it at that time, It's wise to diary that time and go, okay, tomorrow I'm going to put aside 30 minutes to deal with this mentally of what's challenging me. That's all. Put it aside. Put the time aside, but you must do it when you turn up, because if you keep diarying it, moving that in your diary because other priorities come in, you're saying it's not a priority. But if you book it time in your diary, I would stick to it, personally, for me. So deal with this little Nemo. Deal with this little Nemo before the big kahuna comes in. So when we think about that, we know we're in Christmas. We know we're in Christmas chaos, Christmas chaotic. Christmas is an amazing time to look at all your triggers of what's going on, the build up, the actual day, the down after, then the back to reality, back to work. There's like Christmas chaos, if you were to call it that, is a December and January process. There's definitely a December and January process. So say, for example, there's a family Christmas. And I was reading this about this on one of the social media pages that I follow, and somebody's not invited to the family lunch anymore because they had an argument with the family and now they're not invited, but other people are invited. Whoa, wow, that's actually really, they've been around for 5 years, they get to go every year, but them and their children are not invited, but their partner and that child is allowed to go to that family. That's a real stirrer. So I'm going to tell you to get over it. I'm going to tell you how to get over it. I'm going to tell you to get over it. Go do something fabulous. Go do something even more inspiring than that, what you had planned. Stop sulking about it. I'm going to show you how to get over it. But you're going to have to get over it, because otherwise it's going to stir you up. But when you go do something fabulous, don't rub it in their face. Well, I got to do this. Zip that crap. You don't want to be dealing with that. So go out and do something inspiring. You know, if you've got children of your own, can you go do something? Can you go to a charity and offer a charity? Can you go and do a picnic down in the park or on your front lawn? You don't have to do the whole big Christmas tradition. You can do whatever you want when you own whoever you are. So you must do something fabulous. None of this sulking, they've ruined Christmas. They haven't ruined Christmas. You're going to up-level it. You're going to up-level their Christmas. Do something fabulous. If your in-laws prefer your ex, if your in-laws go and they start talking about it, oh, we preferred, who our son dated 10 years ago. Okay, righto. Well, they're clearly holding on to something that you're not, and neither's your partner. So you can say, well, times have changed and we're together now. You can say that, or your partner can say that, or you can just let it go and have that conversation with your partner outside of that environment so that they can be addressed when it's not Christmas and there's stuff going together. You can do any of that stuff. You can do, but you can't let them throw their crap, and it is crap because it's their opinion. You can't let them throw their crap at you and you catch it and let it stick to you. That is the worst thing you can do mentally, emotionally, physically. So when I talk about getting over it, I do think of my dad. When I talk about getting over it, build a bridge, get over it, back in those days. So when I talk about getting over it, you're going to ask yourself this, pen and paper for a start. What is the value to you of not doing something? What is the value to you of not doing something? What is the value to you of the benefit to you of not doing that? How does it enhance your life of not doing that? So that's your Christmas dinner. What is the benefit to me of not doing Christmas family dinner with that family? What is the value to me of not doing that family Christmas dinner? How does it enhance my world not doing the family Christmas dinner? I guarantee you put pen and paper together. I guarantee, and trust me on this, you are better off not going and being on edge and putting them on edge and being uncomfortable in any situation. You are so better off doing something that is far more inspiring to you than walking into that situation. You must be aware that people have had lives before. So if they're talking about exes or anything, or even you're talking about their ex, everybody had a life before. Let them keep that memory. Let them keep that stuff. This is not up to you to change their memories. This is up to you to build a life that's inspiring for you right here, right now. What memories can you create? What are those things that you love to do? And this is not about up-leveling. This is not about, well, they went to Australia last year for Christmas, so I'm taking them to Fiji. or I'm taking them to America. There's none of this up-leveling stuff. Do what sits right for you, and you want to do it, and they want to do it, and everyone can do it and have a lot of fun and a lot of inspiration and a little joy, for goodness sake. Okay, so I'll come down now. So they may have something and you may have something if it's an intimate relationship, but they're with you now. So their ex may have had longer hair and you've got shorter hair. They're with you. Their ex may have had children with them and they don't have them with you, but they're with you now. Their ex may have had a mother-in-law that was nicer and your mother's not as nice to them. They're with you now. Like any of this stuff, you hear these stories because these are really common. They're with you now. They are with you now. They are with you now. Remember that stuff. I will say you're better, I talked about this and this and this and this. You're better to deal with this, speak from the heart, don't ignore it, feel the energy from the heart yourself. So if you don't feel comfortable saying anything, or you do say something and whoosh, happens, because that sometimes happens, if you do feel like that, reach out, drop me a message. I'm here. Drop me a message, because there's nothing worse than sitting in that bomb. There's nothing worse than sitting in that space. So reach out. I can give you some stuff. Oh. Did you see that message? A friend once said, in-laws are like trout. They smell bad after a few days. Oh my God, that's actually, I quite like that. I quite like that they think like that. That's a funny little one. That's a kahuna. So find an advisor. Here I am, totally here. But one of the things I've mentioned but haven't mentioned the specific word, have a guess what word you think I'm going to say. It starts with G and ends with E. It's called gratitude. Be grateful they are here with you now. Be grateful they are not here with you now. Be grateful that you're having this experience to open up this conversation. Be grateful that you got to learn this stuff and educate yourself and think a little bit more on this day before things can go. We all have emotion. The key is to work wisely through this emotion. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'm just a message away. I trust that you've got some value out of how to overcome jealousy in a relationship, not just intimate relationship, but business relationship. Stop comparing. So that's me, Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, over and out. I might jump on here tomorrow just to do a little Christmas cheer. We'll just see how I go. But I'd love to thank you for joining me today. I will see you definitely next week. Have an inspiring day or night. Thank you.